So make sure you share your feedback with me. Okay, so that would be awesome if you can do that.
Okay.
Let me share my screen. Once you are seeing it, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go to full screen mode. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so before we start, a couple of things I want to chat, right? So the webinar, I think I told you guys, right? We are starting on Engineers Day on September 15th. So there's a good traction. I think we got 7 out of 10 slots confirmed. The presenters, right? All from big companies, right? So I'll not disclose the name, but yeah, maybe next week sometime once I get a confirmations, I'll announce. But some of those, at least the important webinars, will be in some little some timing, which I'm trying to find out is convenient or not. The first webinar, it's going to be from one of the senior most person in the industry, right? And so that's going to be at 5:30 p.m. on 15th of September. So is that time will be convenient to you guys? I'm going to get the feedback from other colleges also. So is it convenient for all the 3 colleges here, Wales, SVC and Kanchi University, 5:30 p.m. on 15th of September?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, because he wanted the 8 a.m. in the morning. I told no way. We cannot have 8 a.m. in the morning. 9 a.m. classes starts and people have to get ready and probably they wake up, half wake up, whatever, right? So even for any of the official meetings I keep at 8 a.m. Nobody show up. Only I show up, right? Nobody comes to the meeting actually 8 a.m. even in the business meetings, right? So that being said, I have another business meeting at 8 a.m. tomorrow. So that's a different story, right? But so we want to make it as friendly as possible. So it'll be at 5:30 p.m. So other webinars I'm targeting for 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. So that's a slot I'm looking for. It'll be two or three slots in a week, right? We'll cover 10 seminars over a period of 4 weeks. So it'll be at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. or if it's Saturday, Sunday, it'll be afternoon 4 p.m. So that's what we are looking at. So is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
it's going to be very exciting. So I cannot control myself, but yeah, let me wait for a few more days before I break all the good news to you people, right? So okay, that's one part. And on continuing on the webinar, right? So I told you are working on a social cause, and probably you would have read the PPT which I sent to you upfront last week, right? Did you guys read my email on the I sent you a set of slides? Did you guys got a chance to see that?
Yeah, yes, sir. You last class we will ask, sir.
Yeah. So we have planned to basically get all the industry leaders. Basically, objective is to set the expectation for all the students, because you won't know today. We go to industry. What does the industry want from you, right? Right. So I'm trying to prepare you for that. But many students won't know. Your friends in your class or who studied, who passed out, they won't know what industry wants, right? So many times we don't do. This is one of the leadership principle, right? If you don't know what is expected out of you, you'll not do well. If you are told what you're expected to do, you might do well. There are good chances you'll do well. That's why I set the expectation in the beginning, right? In my first class, I told in the last class I also showed you a slide. What is that I expect from you for next 1 year, right? So setting the expectation is very, very important. If you don't communicate the expectations, so how would you know what you're supposed to do, right? So that's very, very important part of the leadership thing. So we want to set the expectation to all the students. What does the industry want from the fresh graduates? So that every company will go to tell, and what skills you need to possess. And if you have the right skills, definitely you'll find a job somewhere or other, right? I've been talking to all the people and they all agree with me thinking, right? So your skills are important. So don't look for job or will I get a job, what salary I'll get. They're all secondary. Focus on your skills. If you have skills, you'll definitely get a job somewhere. If I'm not helping, somebody else will help you, right? It's analogy is like this, right? Your marks and the knowledge in the school or in the college, right? If you go behind the marks, you'll not get the knowledge, right? You can somehow copy, take bit or whatever, right? You can do some malpractice and get marks, but what about knowledge? You'll never get. But on the other hand, you go behind the knowledge, you understand the concepts, you don't mug up the things, so easily you'll get the marks. You may get 5 marks less, maybe. So what? But you'll be more knowledgeable and so that whatever mark you get in the process is more than enough. I keep telling my children that way. That knowledge is more important than the marks, right? Even if you got 60% of your score, that's more than enough, rather than mugging up something and getting 80%, right? So do you all agree? Right, agree, Ishwar? I've been telling you this, right? When did I start
Yes,
telling you?
sir.
How long I tell you this? Forever. Yeah, see, Ishwar thinks forever I've been telling him, but I don't know if he follows or not. Do you follow Ishwar? It depends on the subject.
Strictly depends on the subject.
Okay, anyway, yeah. So let's not get subject to discussion. That's one thing. Okay. So on the other thing, right? So we are doing a fundraising for this. You're aware, right? We are supporting NGO, and I don't know, like, because nobody has money these days, or if you have money, people have to be cautious, right? So we are telling colleges, you pay 50,000 rupees, 100 students can attend. I know colleges are in a very terrible situation. I've been hearing some feedback that there are salary cuts, and like, the students will not able to pay fees on time, and online classes running. It's very difficult situation today, right? So raising money from the colleges, I don't know the right way or not, but what we all might do, just a heads up. So we'll all have to use our contacts, and since they are used for, if you look at the presentation, I've told how the money is going to be used, right? Do you see, Ishwar? You not see the slides. Okay, you should see. Look at the last 2-3 slides. We're telling the NGO how they are going to use the money, right? They think they're looking for some amount of money. And they get the money, what they will do with the money. So I asked them to put that. They put in the slide. So basically, they'll go to all the rural areas. They'll pick up the economically backward families and train all the youths for the skill development. Same thing, how I work with on skill development, right? They'll take all the youth in the rural areas, in a very poor background. They have not studied or anything, right? So even if you study in the colleges, it's difficult for us to find jobs. But look at the people, economic backward people. They don't have skills, they don't have studied, and how they'll find opportunities, right? And situation is so different. So they'll teach them tailoring and those kind of things, all kind of odd jobs. They'll get trained, and they'll make sure that they'll get jobs also, right? So that's a concept, right? So to do that job, the NGO needs certain money, right? Even to train the people free of cost and find them job, now they need some money. So what we'll do is we'll go through our contacts. It's like this, right? If you construct a temple, let's say in your village or somewhere, you all with a receipt book, you go to your known contacts, you get 5 rupees and 10 rupees, right? I'm sure you would have done that in your youth, or you still you do, I don't know, right? So same concept. We are doing it digitally in the social media. So you go through your social media network to your friends, your parents' contacts, your relatives, whoever it is, right? Anywhere in the world, you go through, you reach out and tell them whatever they contribute is welcome to this aware. And in this process, you are learning many things, and a lot of industry leaders are coming, sharing the knowledge, and we are helping the poor people. There are many causes linked to that, right? It's all in one kind of a thing, right? So whatever money we can raise, so there is no goal, but whatever you can do in your bit. It's like how the squirrel helped the Lord Rama doing the building the bridge going to Lanka, right? That kind of a thing. We all play that role. Even small money, even you get raid 100 rupees like from somebody that's valuable. Like that, look at, right? There are let's say 1,000 people attend this webinar. Everyone contributes 100 rupees through their own way, right? And how much money will raise? Yeah, see, minimum is saying, right? So that's how it works. I'm telling you, so 1,000, so you may not, one person gave you 100, you go and talk to 500 people, how much money will connect? It's a huge, right? In your social media, look at how many friends you have in your Facebook. I'm sure all of you are on the LinkedIn and Facebook, right? So go and create the LinkedIn accounts at least. I think Bala came and told us the first class, right? You create a LinkedIn profile and connect with me. First, I think some of you are connected, so you connect that. I think Ishwar, if you don't have an account, Facebook account is a social thing just for chit chat, but LinkedIn is more professional. Right, so it's okay. So let's go to all the social media, Instagram, wherever you have accounts, keep sharing. Known people, unknown people, anyone is okay. But as long as people contribute, they'll get an ATG receipt and everything, and it will be transparent. We'll come back and tell you, how it will be done, who is actually getting benefited, how your money is used. Everything will be shared. We will back to who are giving the money, right? So it's very transparent. So the NGO is a very nice person, right? They are doing a lot of good things actually, right? So that's the the beginning part. So I just want to update. So we'll discuss more details in the coming week. I'm definitely counting on your support. You don't have to put your money. I know we are in a difficult situation, but talk to your people, right? Whom you know, right? You don't have to beg, So do basically socializing and tell them the good cause, and everything can happen online. So we are going to provide a link in the Facebook and LinkedIn and everything, so you can use that. You'll have an email, and you can use all those things, and you can talk to your contacts and try and see. If it's only voluntary effort. If you're not don't want to do that way, it's fine. That's okay, right? Still, you can come and attend. That's the beauty of it. We are not compelling anyone anything. Still, say you don't want to raise money, but you want to come and get the knowledge. You're most welcome, right? Please feel free to join the seminar. Okay, let's go to our dear friend Steve Jobs. What is he telling us today? Yeah, see, this is very important. I also learning this valuable lesson, right? So I'm going to tell an anecdote regarding this. What happened to me yesterday? So people think focus means saying yes to thing you have got to focus on, but that's not what it means at all. It means saying no to the 100 other good ideas that are. So you have to pick carefully. You understand, right? You cannot be doing S boss always. I told you, right? In Indian culture, we all been tuned to say S. And if you say no, it means like, you're, that is for the elders, you are kind of saying offending your parents or your elders in the family, right? So I think all of you, including me, right? We all been brought up that way. I don't know about Yogesh, how the culture in Hong Kong, but at least in India, right? So this is the kind of tune. You cannot say no to your parents, right? Right, Ishwar? But you can say to me, right? So that Ishwar understands it, because I know I don't force people, right? So you don't have to say everything. So you have to focus on what is your focus on that day. What is your priority? What you have to complete. So based on that, you do. So don't say yes to everything. I give an example, right, for the fundraising. You don't have to say yes to me. You can always say no. I'm not interested, and do that politely. No, don't get your ego out of it, right? Use appropriate words and say like, so I'm sorry. This time I'm not to help. Let's look at the next time, right? So do it that way, so that the relationship is not broken, right? So that has to be communicated appropriately, right? So once you do that, yeah, everything will go. So saying no, it may be a very fantastic idea. Like say social cause, it may be meaning good to me, but not to everyone, right? So you need to pick your words. So say it's perfectly fine to say no, including me, right? So that's appropriate way you have to do it. Probably we'll have a lecture on that, how to say no. Right? It's an important skill. Maybe I'll have another corporates to talk about how to say no. But you all need to know, right? You need to know how to say no. KNOW, not NO, right? You need to know how to say no, right? So that's important, right? For example, I'll tell you an anecdote, right? Yesterday, a day before yesterday midnight, I got an SMS text. I saw in the early morning when I got up. It's saying, like, Hari, are you willing to consult with us? We're working on a so-and-so project. I'll tell you, it's on LPDDR4 project. Are you willing to consult with me? He's one of my earlier acquaintance when I was working in industry. He sent me the message at midnight, and I woke up at early 4:30 and saw. I told, yeah, let's discuss. So we got exchanged mails, and around 8:30 in the morning he connected and he asked, Hari, no, are you willing to work for us? I told, boss, no, I'm doing few other things. There are a lot of things in my plate. I don't have time. I cannot, even though I want to do, but I don't have time. But I can help you to get people. I can enable you. I can help you to get people who like to work. Right? Then he asked, Hari, can you at least spend few hours? I told I can spend max only half an hour to 1 hour a day, not more than that. Right? That only on time basis. He's even willing to go to that level. Right? I told, tell me what you want. I'll go to use my connections. I'll get you the people, right people. I'll enable you. Then he told he'll get back to me, right? So he's one of the good company in Chennai. Right? He told he's hiring a lot and he's doing a lot of good business, right? So people are very keen, right? And so you have to say no. Sometimes even though I like to do, but I don't have time because my priorities are different. I'm doing very different thing. I think I told you that I'm working on a media and doing a lot of things on Facebook and YouTube to create some videos promoting another good cause, right? So I don't want to talk about what is the cause in this meeting, but there is a lot of other activity I'm involved that's taking a lot of my time, and I have my own routines, personal routines, which is important to me. And you guys are very, very important to me, right? I think I spoke to 2-3 guys, students in last 2 weeks. They want to join this class. As of now, I said no. That's why I'm talking to some of the people who are not attending. So if they're not keen, I would like to say, yeah, it's okay. You don't have to attend. I'll get somebody else in their place, right? So end of this month, I want to see somebody is not keen. Please let me know. There are other people waiting in the wing. I don't want to admit more people because I cannot pay attention, right? So because I want to give individual attention to all 10 or 11 of you, right? So you can call me, you can WhatsApp me anytime, you can email me. And I'll also keep talking to you at least once in a week. I'll personally talk to you, make sure that you understand what are we talking in the class. You ask me questions and everything, right? That personal rapport need to be there. I treat all of you as my friends, right? I do address my emails that way, right? So I treat all you as my friends. So you also have to do the same thing, right? It's okay if you want to call me by name. It's okay. You don't have to call me sir, right? That's how the industry works. When you go and join industry, please don't call anybody as sir in the industry, right? It's one of the lesson, right? You have to call people by their names. Right? Sir is somebody who's knighted. You know what is a sir? He says Sir Richard Hadley. Right? Sir Kapil Dev. Sir Kapil Dev is knighted? No, right? Sir Vivian Richards, you say, right? Or Sir who is a Sir Isaac Newton, you say, right? So Sir means that they are the only sir. I'm not knighted yet, right? I joke. When you people joined my company when I was in Qualcomm, people used to come and call me sir. Please don't call me sir. I'm not yet knighted. That's what I tell them, right? So it's okay to call by name, right? In US, that's what the US culture, right? In westernized, people, so it's okay to call by name. At least India, we think it is not giving respect. No, that's not that way, right? Even somebody called me Mr. Hari. I told them, please don't call me Mr. Hari. Right? I don't like Indian culture. I don't like it. Right? You want to say Hari ji, it's fine. Don't say Mr. Hari. I told him on the face actually. Right? Please don't say. Just call me Hari. I'm fine. Right? So you have to unlearn. Right? So please, don't go and call your HOD by name. You get pissed off. Don't do that, right? But in your corporate, when you go in an industry, you have to call people by name, right? So learn that concept, right? You can practice with me. I'm okay. Just call me Hari. I'm fine, right? Okay. So is that concept clear? So you have to practice by saying no. Maybe I'll try and do some exercises with you. Right? I'll give a tough project and say you have to complete by tomorrow. I want to see how many of you say no. Right? I'm just kidding, guys. So you got this message, right? All you understand. So you don't have to say, you understand what is your focus and priority. You have to be on that. So everything else is secondary. You say, yeah, I'll try. Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, I agree that it's very important. But for this is what is my focus and priority. You let me know. If it is your manager, you have to be very careful when you say no in the industry, right? So you have to tell him, yeah, this is what I'm working this week. Can I do this next week or after I complete this task? Or if you think this is more priority compared to this, can you please let me know what should I do first? So that way you should have the conversation, right? So you don't say no, but you let somebody else decide and tell what's your priority, right? So you can do that to your parents also. Some parents ask you to do some work, you go and fetch something, you tell like this, I have to study this, I want to do this homework today. Is it okay if I do this late in the evening by 8 p.m. or can I do it tomorrow? Then ask them that way, right? So if you say that's very important, now you change the priority and get it done, right? Or you ask questions, help me understand why do you think it's high priority? Use those kind of words, right? Help me understand, right? So you're not offending a person. Why is this? I told you, right? You don't use the name why. So why do you think it's important to you? And the guy will get offended. He'll go to defensive mode, right? So help me understand why. Then you say why, right? Help me understand to understand the product so that I can help you better, right? Use such practice yourself, like in a difficult situation. How do you? So that's why you should not get tensed. Don't lose your cool. Like Dhoni is a good example, right? Remain cool. Don't get triggered. It's not easy. You have to practice. You have to practice. So don't get triggered. The tough situation, you have to retain your cool and practice to say these words. You practice with your friends, right? So that way, right? So let's move on. I think this is not a management class. Let's move on. This is an engineering class. Okay, brain teasers. Okay, interesting. Yeah, you guys read, man. Let me have some water. You guys read and tell me what is the answer. A woman had two sons who were born on the same hour, on the same day, on the same month of the same year, but they are not twins. How could this be? You got 10 seconds. 10, 9.
Difference was 12 hours apart from them.
No, same time. Same day,
Sir,
same
one
month,
of
same
the
hour.
son is adopted,
Say
sir.
same, not same time.
Same time. I'll add same time. I know the answer, so I'll say same time. 10, 9,
You almost got that.
8, 7,
Sir,
6.
one of the son is adopted, sir.
They're all born at the same time to the same parents.
But they were not born on the same.
Wait. Yeah, pardon?
Sir, they were not born on the same minute or same second like that, sir.
Yeah, there'll be 1 second difference. Obviously, like how is it possible to get everything same second, right? It's a sequential process, right? In a matter of minutes they are born. Yeah, matter of seconds and matter of minutes, right? Matter of 2
Yes,
minutes.
sir.
Yeah. So how is that?
Maybe they are
Sir, I
different.
think both of them have a age difference of 1 week, sir. He was born in Monday and the other guy boy was born
No. Hey,
same Monday.
good thinking. I appreciate it, right? Yeah, good thinking because it's the same day, same week. Let me put that also. It's same hour, same week. I think good. Whoever said that's a good answer. Good try, man. Yeah, it's not because week is not mentioned there. It's one of the possible answers, but here that's not. It's very different. You have to think different, right? I told you, right? When you show the answer, you laugh at it actually. Okay, anyway, let's go to the answer.
Maybe they are triplets.
Yes, exactly, Ishwar. They're triplets or quadruplets, right? So she had two sons and one daughter, or three sons, whatever, right? Well done, Ishwar. Right? So Ishwar doesn't know this question. I prepared on my own. So he was not nearby me when I prepared, right? So don't think you know the answer. Exactly, you have to think that way, right? So that is the lateral thinking. So you have to use 360 degrees. You have to think. It's very simple, right? So very interesting, guys, right? So let's see. There are 5 pieces of coal, carrot, and scarf are lying in the lawn. Okay. Nobody put them on the lawn, but there is a perfect logical reason why they should be there. What is it? A coal, carrot, and scarf. There are 5 pieces of that. They're lying on the lawn. Right? So there's for a reason, some logical reason they are there. But they're not just kept there just like that.
Maybe someone built a snowman and then it melted.
Pardon?
someone built a snowman there and then it melted.
Excellent, Yogesh. Excellent. They made a snowman. Yogesh, how did you guess? You
I
know the
saw
answer already?
coal and carrot, and then the first thing I thought was snowman.
Excellent, excellent. Very good, very good. Yeah, that's how you need to be thinking. Fantastic, fantastic. Good. I'm impressed. So guys, so you have to be in that way, right? You have to think. You remember in one of the classes we saw about a man lying hanging on the rooftop with the ice cube melting away, right? So similar to that, right? So you already know. So next time I ask a question, so you have to think in the same direction, right? So it's important to think like out of the box. You know, its answer is so simple, but your brain has to be tuned to think differently. Okay.
Small doubt, sir.
Yeah.
Still, no, I didn't understand the question and answer, sir. Can
Oh,
you please?
fantastic. Okay. You know what is a snowman?
Sir, snowman.
Snowman.
Ah, yes, sir.
Okay. What is a snowman?
A man who's residing on the snow.
No. He's a character kind of thing. So he had coal, it's a carrot and scarf and all, right? It's the way there's a character, right? So probably I don't know, it's a comic or whatever actually, right? So that's the way, like, no, he's there actually, right? So the snow was there, but snow melted away, right? So you after that melted away, you have only the coal, carrot and scarf left over, right?
Oh.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, now I understood.
Okay. Your man is lying dead on the field. Next to him, there is an unopened package. That package can be anything, right? There's unopened. There's no other creature in the field. How did he die?
Someone dropped him on the field from the air.
Yeah, possible. Well, what is it? It has to be logical also, right? It's possible. What you say? There's an unopened package next to him. There's a relation between that. That's logical. What you say is kind of an answer. I agree, Ishwar. There's it should be, but you have to connect all the points in the question, right? There's unopened package. So how is it related?
Uh,
10, 9,
So
8.
field in the field, it's like the field without oxygen. So
How come
the
filled with
unopened-
oxygen, man?
the package is full of oxygen. So it
No,
is
no, 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 you're going wrong direction. In a field, how can a field be without oxygen? Field is where the paddy field kind of thing, right? Open area. So there'll be plenty of oxygen there, correct?
Sir, he died of cardiac arrest.
Yeah, you're kind of logical, but what is the connection with the unopened package?
He's lifting the package, sir. So he died.
It's very
Kind of,
heavy. No, hey, it's all good answers, man. I'm really enjoying it.
Right.
It's very heavy package. He tried to lift, he got a heart attack, right? Possible. Yeah, but
Yes, sir.
no. Yeah, that is also an answer. I agree, but that's not written here, right? I think I'll give a hint. Ishwar told somebody dropped him from, so that's a hint actually. So I continue from my counter from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Sir, a box was dropped on his head.
No, guys. Let's see the answer. The man was jumping from plane in an emergency. His parachute failed to open. So that is an unopened package. Okay? Right? But what you all said, no, yeah, it's all I agree, right? So he tried to lift the package. It was very heavy. Like, he got a heart attack. Yeah, yes. That is also an answer. I agree, right? I cannot say no, right? It's a, yeah. Yeah, but this is looking more logical, right? His parachute didn't open, so he died. Right?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic, fantastic. Yes, good discussions. Keep it up. Okay, coming back. So I think quickly I'm revising what we studied last class. I'll go a little fast, right? So blocking statement and non-blocking statement. So do you remember what is blocking and non-blocking? Blocking statement is equal operator and is executed in the order they are specified in the sequential block, and that will not block the execution of statements that follow in a parallel block. Okay. So that's the definition of blocking. I'll have a lot of examples. So this is only theory. Just remember the equal sign. That's what I would expect. Remember the equal sign and remember this first statement. They are executed in the same order they are specified. Sequential block, right? That's what initial and always, right? So just remember only that. Okay. Non-blocking. Non-blocking is defined like less than equal. That's a symbol. Right. So it will not block. So I think I gave an example. I think all of you saw that, right? So probably there are other examples. So I'll not. Do you all remember this example? What I showed you last time? I told you this is not the way the mux will not work, right? Did any of you simulate that and see? Yes or no? I think I simulated and showed. I didn't spend a lot of time, but showed you. You can experiment on your own. I'll not go to that code now because this was in the last class, right? So the mux will not work. So you find out why it will not work, and probably we can discuss the next class, right? So I'll ask one of you to present. All of you have to go through that. Saturday will not class. Sunday we'll have the class. Saturday we have a guest lecture, right? Sunday 7 p.m. when we meet. I'll ask you one. I'll call by name. All of you have to come prepared, right? So I'll have one of you to answer, right? And I'm also thinking of conducting a quiz on Sunday. I think we're not done. Let me announce it. So what have we been doing on digital design? I'll forget the schemas on the digital design. What have we read? Maybe I'll ask 5 questions or something. Let's have a quiz on Sunday. Okay. You have 3 more days to prepare whatever. From whatever I thought you, I'm going to ask you some theoretical questions. I'll not ask you to code Verilog, but some theoretical questions. Till today, whatever you're learning, I'm going to have a quiz, mini quiz, 5 questions or 10 questions, whatever, right? So we'll have it on Sunday, right? And maybe what I can do, you can do in, I'm trying to get Zoom. I think one of my best friends said, he'll give me he'll graciously allow me to use their ID. Right, we'll have breakout sessions, so you can have 5 teams, 2 of each team. You can discuss with each other and write. Is that okay? Right. So 2 of you can each of you discuss at the Zoom breakout room, and you can discuss and do it. All right. So let's do that way so that we can do that way. Okay.
Okay.
And yeah, blocking statement is equal, and the same example is run in the correct way, right? So look at these examples. I think I have plenty of the examples coming up, so I'm not going to details there. Okay, the combinational logic. I think I saw this also last week, right? Did we see this on last class? Okay. So this is a continuous assignment. C in equal to B out plus 1, right? Carry in, right? And the out is 0, and if in equal to 1, out is 1. If in equal to 1, in 2 is equal to 1, out is D2, right? This is some kind of a combinational logic, correct? Right? This is also one type of combinational logic. This is another type of combinational logic, right? This is a combinational logic. Every assigned statement is always a combinational logic. Always block. If you don't have, see this argument, I'll talk about this, right? I'll talk about it in a minute. I should have put a comment here. I didn't put it. Fortunately, it caught my attention, right? So there is no always add percentage of clock here, right? So this is a combinational block, right? All right. And so understand this, every variable should have a default value to avoid interaction of latches. Invalid, I think we spoke about a lot about latches, right? If you don't code all possible statements, it will be a latch, right? But here you will not have latch because the default well statement is mentioned here, out, right? So other case, in1 is not 1, in1 is not 2, the value will be 0, right? So there is no latch coming up here. Do not assign the same variable from more than one always block. It's ill-defined semantics. I think I tried to do in the last class, but I think definitely it's not a good practice. So you have to write down all these things. You have to remember these are important points. Why don't you take down notes? I think I should color this in a different color. Maybe next class I'll try and do that, right? So you have to at least write down this particular slide. This point is very, very important. So these are all like guidelines. Maybe one of you have to form a document with all these guidelines. We'll call them as a coding guidelines. These are all you must follow. Okay. Okay. Coming back to this, right? This is a system Verilog construct. I told something called system Verilog, right? What you're learning is Verilog, but extension is like C and C++, right? So Verilog and system Verilog are cousin brothers. How C and C+ like cousin brothers? The Verilog and system Verilogs are like cousin brothers or cousin sisters, whatever you want to call, or the siblings or whatever actually, right? So it's if you've got a harvest at star, you don't have to specify in1 or in2 or in3 and all. You don't have to specify that, right? It means all the inputs. Okay, understand, right? So yes, any input is used here. It's all things are by default the compiler will understand. You don't have to write it explicitly. It's implicitly defined. It's very easy, isn't it? So that's the benefit of system Verilog. Okay. Questions, guys? Questions? Okay. So sequential logic, how do you write? So combinational logic, you have to use a blocking statement. That is another guidelines. You write it down. Any combinational logic you code inside a sequential block, you have to have a blocking statement. Period. You don't ask me why, right? That's the thing. But if you want to ask me why, answer is this. See, somebody used this particular statement, a combinational logic, it didn't work. So you have to write using blocking statement, it worked. So you figured out the answer and you have to tell me in the next class, right? So why is that combinational logic has to be used only with the blocking statement? You come back with the answer. If you don't know the answer, I'll try and explain, right? So fine. I don't want to give you homework for this month. The homeworks will be very, very less. You already have enough homework, right? So I want you to finish all those things. Whoever is not finished, please finish it. I'll probably migrate to Google Classroom. I told you I'm not finding time very soon. This week I'll definitely move to Google Classroom so that I can track all your assignments and everything. All the notes, assignments, everything can be tracked. Then you're taking the class notes. I told you to write notes, right? So I want to put a little bit tight nose out in the beginning days. Even though I said I'll not follow up, since you get that discipline, I'll start following up now, right? This leadership skill is that way. You give freedom. Once you see that people are not using the freedom, you have to tighten the nose, right? Once you get the discipline, I'll step back. Okay, that's one type of leadership skill, right? The skill leadership style changes from person to person, right? Somebody is very high context, very want to be very independent. He knows what you have to do. Then you don't go and micromanage that person. You give them a lot of freedom. But somebody is not doing. He needs a lot of micromanagement, hand holding. Then you make sure that you kind of be sitting on the head of the person and get the things done, right? That's a leadership style. One of those leadership style, right? For example, you go and tell Dhoni this over, you should set the field like this. That's an overkill. It should not do that, right? But a schoolboy is captain for first time. I should go and tell him how the field should be, right? So that's an example of leadership skill, right? Okay, so we go to next statement. So the sequential logic, which always use a non-blocking statement. That's again a guideline. So I should have highlighted it, but you write down. Extremely important, right? These are all interview questions. Let me tell you, right? And this is an example. I think you have seen plenty of examples. So it's only positive edge-driven flops or negative edge-driven both can use negate also sometimes. Do not assign the same variable in more than one always block. Ill-defined semantics, right? You're using same thing as the other thing, right? Don't assign the same variable outside the other always block. Same thing on the initial block also. So whatever signal or variable, whatever is, use that within that particular block only, right? And do not mix blocking. This is very, very important again. It's a good coding guidelines. Probably I'm going to change the colors to green or red, right? So you understand they are very, very important, right? They're extremely important. I've seen a lot of people in the maybe fresh graduates, close to 8 months and 1 year experience or 2 years. People do these kind of mistakes. First time somebody is writing a code or designing, they do this mistake. So that's why purposely we have put all these things here. Do not mix blocking and launch in the same always block, same assign block. You code another always block, another initial block for that. Okay. So you typically use one for one signal, use one always block. Don't put more signals in the same always block. So try and do that. It's easier to imagine and do it, right? Don't put 10 signals in the same always block. This is another good practice. All related signals you can put it who are having the same timing or similar functionality, you combine them in always block. But don't club. It will become like a wheel. If you put everything in the same place, it will look very ugly, right? So don't do that. Don't mix too many signals. Don't mix blocking, non-blocking. Don't use the same signal in more than one always block. Your only leaf model should have functionality, right? I told you, right? Higher model should be only writing together. It's like building the house, right? The bottommost ones, there are hierarchies, what you call. So they have all the functionalities written in the RTL way, right? When they go to the topmost module, there'll be only structural. I've not told you what is structural, data flow and behavioral and all, right? But you understand what is structure. Structure is something, it has some particular structure, right? Something like a hierarchy. You know what is a hierarchy, right? In a company, we go, there's a peon, there's above that there's a supervisor, above that is an engineer, there's a senior engineer, there's a leader, there's a manager, there's a senior manager, like that, right? There's a hierarchy, right? So here also there's a hierarchy. There's a blocks, various blocks, parent block and child blocks. Child block, next parent block will call that. That parent block will go to next parent block, grandfather block, then grandfather block. You build a hierarchy. Then the topmost guy, right? You'll have only calling all the parents there and building there is no RTL logic. There is no always block. There is no assign statement. There is no initial block. You'll just connectivity, connecting the various blocks. So that is called structural. You have only the connectivity, but there is no RTL statement like assignment statement or always block or initial block. Okay. So that's the highest level of higher module level. So that will have only the connectivity. Which block is going to what block, the signal connectivity it will have. I'll try and show an example in one of the next classes maybe, right? Okay, let's see this. This is very simple. Okay, so forget about all these things. Always at all the block, A out is AN, B out is A out plus 1, C out is B out plus 1 and N. What is this logic? What is this?
Sequential.
Sequential logic, very good. What type of sequential logic?
This is an adder.
Adder is sequential logic? Come on. This is a counter. Kind of counter, right? You're counting doing plus 1, right? So you're taking the input, previous value, or increment by 1 and giving to the next one B. It's like a kind of a counter actually, right? But there are three flip-flops. I'm sure this counting a value. This one counter, this one, two counters, this is a register, right? This is a counter, kind of a counter, right? So they're saying, so the order of non-blocking statement does not matter. Why? Because they generate registers, right? You can be putting this in any order. You simulate it and see, right? You try it out as a homework. You swap the orders and see it's going to work. So in what is this? It's called non-blocking, right? What is it called? Right? This is non-blocking statement. The order really doesn't matter, right? So you can try it out. You try and prove it yourself. It doesn't matter. Any order you put, they are going to get executed, right? That's what you say here, right? Right? Where is it? You said somewhere. Non-blocking, I think we didn't say. Probably here we say they execute in the same order, right? Blocking statement, they are executing the same order. So non-blocking, the order doesn't matter. Okay? You put in any order, they're going to work. And this is like we are going to say the same example for subsequent slides also. So remember this picture. I'm going to keep reproducing them. So is this clear, guys? This example for a sequential logic, and this is like a counter, two counters back to back and connected to a register. Okay? Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Yeah, another style. Same way. See, I told you, right? Same person is called multiple names. You have a nickname. I told you some examples from my class, and some of you told you have a pet name at home, whatever actually, right? So the same logic, the same picture is being done in another way. So there's way to demonstrate the one problem can be solved in different solutions exist for the same problem. Probably you would have studied in mathematics somewhere. I don't know what is the name of the mathematics for that. And there are infinite solutions or whatever, right? Any number of solutions available for a given problem. There's a terminology in the mathematics for that. I forgot. Any of you remember? There's a theorem or some projected concept in mathematics for that. So it's theoretically it can be proved there are many solutions for a given problem, right? So here, what it is different. So you're right. So you have to understand. You said A in A out plus one, B out plus one. Here you see what you do. A in equal to A out, B in equal to B out, C in equal to C out, and this is made as assigned statement. Do you know what is the difference? Do you see what is the difference between this code and this code? Guys, same behavior. We have just written generate the combination logic and separately. The combination logic was inside this always block, right? We moved it out with the assigned statement separately, right? Don't ask me what is the advantage. It's all same. It's different way of writing it. Which is more clear, whatever, right? So the tool is going to do the same job, whatever way you write, but it's a different way, different style, right? Agreed? Do you agree that it's the same way of rewriting?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Very good. Excellent. Okay, this is another style, but it's illegal. Why it is illegal? Let us see. Why is illegal?
Assign is an always block.
Excellent, Ishwar. Assign is inside the always block. It cannot be, right? This is a procedural block. And this assign is a concurrent statement. It cannot be inside always or initial block, right? If you write, you compile this code, you see what happens. You get an error. You try it in EDA playground. Okay. So this is not allowed. It's going to be outside. Okay. So this is another way of doing. See, I wanted to show you multiple examples. You figure it out and tell me what is different. Same functionality, but why? It generates the same circuit, whatever you do it. So it's logically equivalent. You figure it out why it is equivalent.
The only difference is you will see multiple always statements.
Yes, I told you to use one signal per always block, right? I just told you a few minutes ago. This example for that. It's the same thing, but you are now writing in a different way, right? But you produce the same circuit. So it's logically equivalent. Okay? Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, another style. See here, how many varieties I'm showing. Another way, the 5-6 varieties of same circuit, right? So see here, what you are doing. A equal to in, B out equal to B in, C out equal to C in, and B in equal to A out plus 1. Similar to this example, right? Similar to this, right?
Yes, sir.
Equal to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Will this synthesize?
This example is blocking, sir.
Yes, very good, excellent. Glad I
I
think
used not
I showed a circle. I think I should have put that as animation. Anyway, I put a circle there. Excellent, Vishnu. No, thank you. Right, so that's exactly I was trying to find out. I think I wrote. Do not use blocking assignments in the always add clock blocks. You have to use that only for the sequential logic. right? It will synthesize. It is correct? No, it's not correct. You will probably get the same circuit, but you should not do that, right? It is not a good practice. I am using this example to reiterate what I just told. Very good, Vishnu. Thank you. Be alert. Okay,
Sir,
so any questions so far? You're going to go into a different world right now.
sir, this was Shank.
Yeah. So for a few seconds, let's break. I need some water. Yeah. Yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free.
Sir, this was Shankar who told the answers.
You have a question, Shankar?
No, sir, I only told this is blocking, sir.
Oh, excellent. Okay, I thought Vishnu. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. It's fine. Yeah. Very good. Okay. So KZ. So you all know what is a case, right? You all know what is the case statement, correct? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All of you know what is the case statement?
We know, sir.
Okay. So where do you use the case statement? Tell me one application for the case statement.
When we can do
I got an answer. Who's that?
Finite state machine.
Yeah, correct. Exactly. FSM is one example. They can do many things. One of the application for, so anything you ask the question of why, what, when, right? Even the webinars, what I'm going to get it conducted from the industry, I'm telling them to articulate their things by using when, what, why. So same thing you'll do. So it'll be fun to learn that way, right? So you read a case statement. Why do you use it? Where do you use it? You should ask yourself. What is case? So then you'll get all the answers, right? So it's used in a state machine. So there's something called case Z. Okay. So you'll come to this note in the end. Let's read. It's a variation of the case statement which permits Z and question mark, right? Question mark is like, you all, anybody knows what is a grep? Grep. Have you heard the name grep? Any of you know Unix here? Linux? Any one of you know what is Linux at least? Linux or Linux, whatever you call.
it is operating system, sir.
Very good. So what is the difference between your Windows and Linux?
Linux is much more cleaner and faster and easier to use.
Oh man, okay. Why is that so?
Windows is messed up.
Okay, why is that so, Linux? Then, if you know the answer, why is that you are using Windows then?
Sir, Windows is more professional, sir, than
No, that's
Windows
not
can be for personal use.
Sir,
Yeah,
Linux uses commands, sir, for everything.
Yes, excellent. Who's that?
Bhuvanesh, sir.
Very good. So what I want is all of you should create a partition, install the whatever the Ubuntu Linux is one very popular, right? So go and install Linux at your own time. So very soon we'll be doing a lot of labs in Linux. Some tools will run in only Linux. So we are going to move to that environment, right? Only when you want to do a PowerPoint or Word, there are also equivalent tools available in Linux, right? OpenOffice, StarOffice, and so many utilities are available. There's no virus threat and everything actually, right? It's very easy, clean. And don't ask me, where is my game? I want to play a football game in Linux, and don't tell that, right? Anyway, you have a mobile for that, right? So understand first, maybe one of you should do, and then others can learn from that person. Even I want to load Linux like the new laptop, but I don't have time. So does anyone want to take this and set it up in their laptop? And you should have a good internet connection to download the Ubuntu. Don't say I have data connection, it will be painful. So somebody has time and good internet connection, I suggest you should do that, and then come and should be able to guide others. This is something within the next 4 weeks, 6 weeks, we'll definitely be moved to Linux. So I'll teach minimum Linux commands, and you'll have to go there next 4 weeks at least. So that's the real, we are professionals, right? We are not kids. You are looking for to get a job in industry. If you say, I know Linux, I know this, that's it. You'll get a job. You'll get a red carpet, right? So anybody wants to volunteer, or they will be assigned. I'll send one other person.
sir. Once I'll try, sir. Pavan.
You're very good, excellent. Pavan, yeah, so I'll help you. You try. There's enough resources available on the internet, right?
Yes,
so
sir.
try it out, and make sure you have enough space in your hard disk. If you have only 100 GB of space, you don't do it. You have to have minimum space. Look at the Ubuntu documentation, right? Go to their
Yes, sir.
website and go. Lot of YouTube tutorials are there. Lot
Yes,
of
sir.
material available. Like, I'll get you some support if you want from some of my other friends. Okay, I'm not finding.
Yes.
I'll be happy to support, but a lot of things can be done. But I'll if you want, let me know. You read it. If something is difficult, I'll try and get one of my friends to support you. to install.
Sure, sir. Once I'll try, sir. Then I'll inform you.
Yeah, but don't crash your laptop. Be careful. Have backup if any critical data are there. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Don't tell me I lost all my data. No, be careful. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Copy important data to Google Drive or pen drive, whatever it is. Make sure
Yes,
that you have enough space, and you have to understand what is the operating system before you do things manually. Right? It's not easy. It's not for a common man. Linux is for professionals, as you said, right? So you need to
Yes,
really
sir.
understand what is a partition. Other thing you should know what is the FAT. You know what is a FAT in Windows? I don't remember the expansion, but I know what is a FAT, field allocation table or something like that. Right? You should know what is a linked list. There's a lot of such operating system concepts are there. I think you should know, right? So in Linux, there is something called a grep. I think thanks to this question mark, I came there. So that is a wildcard character we call in grep. Star or question mark or wildcard. No, why you're not in the head? You don't like no. Yeah, even in your maybe in Windows also it may work. You search in a word or something. You put a star something. Dot is a wild character. Star is a wild character. Question mark is for one character, right? But in Verilog it has a different meaning. Yeah, this maybe don't care, right? Question mark is basically it can be anything, 0 or 1, right? Z is it's more like a high impedance state, Z value, right? So KZ, if you use it, you can use these values. Apart from ordinary case, you can use only 0 and 1. If you use KZ, you can use a Z and question mark also in your expression or in your the case item or whatever you call. So Z and question mark are treated as don't care. They are in the case expression. This is a case expression, right? Or if they are in the case item, this is called a case item, the 3 tick B, right? What does the 3 tick B mean? Ishwar, do you remember? I told you what is 3 tick B.
3-bit binary.
3-bit binary. You have 3 bits. That means, right? You can always omit that and say B, but no, it's a good practice. Again, anytime you do coding, you always do is write down. This is a good practice. The compiler will work. We don't put the 3. You have to put 3 tick B11. I want to see all my students follow the guidelines. So you have to code in that way. Right? No one, once we see any code written that way, I'll ignore. I'll kick it off. Right? So once we define all those guidelines, now we can write our own tool. You can write a Perl, or you can put in whatever other scripting tools are there. Right? What is it called? There are a lot of other scripting tools. Right? I forgot the name. Yeah, there are a lot of other scripting languages. Right? You can use that and write your own checker. What is good practice? You'll say, oh, this is not good practice, but you're not following. This line is not good. You can develop your own tool. There are industry tools that are available. What I'm saying. You're interested in knowing that what is it, Python or whatever, right? You can use Python to code, right? These are my set of 10 guidelines. I give my Verilog code. You say whether all the guidelines are used or not, and some guidelines not used. You say this particular guideline number 10 is violated, and this particular line is violating, right? If somebody is interested to do in software, you feel free to. I'm giving a lot of ideas, so you can develop your own guidelines checker using Python or Perl. And whatever guidelines I tell you, implement that, right? So try it out. If you're interested, you try it. It's not a homework, but if you have interest, you can try, right? That's how you learn. It's all the field, right? You have to be more practical. It's not a class. If I teach you for 1 hour, you should work for 3 hours more for that. That's what I would expect. So there's a 3 hours class in a week. So 9 hours in a week you should spend at least. Then you'd be really productive and you'll really come to the level where I expect you to come, right? It's very easy. I can move very fast. You can learn many things. Otherwise, you'll just learn only Verilog in 1 year, right? But I have a lot of things to teach. And you guys, somebody asked, will I learn PCB? Will I learn this? Yes, I can teach you everything. I can do many things, but all of you have to come at the same speed, right? That's one of my objectives. So I'll not go forward unless all of you really understand, right? That's objective of this whole course. Okay. So they are treated as don't care in the case item or case item or this case expression, this case item guideline. Exercise caution while coding synthesizable modules using Verilog cases statement. See, this is not guideline I have written. So you have to write down this. If you are writing for test bench, you do whatever you want, but you are writing for synthesis, you have to be extremely careful. Okay. I prefer you don't use it, I would say. To be on safe side, don't use it. I'll tell you, wait. I'll ask this question in a few minutes from now. Another coding style guideline, right? While coding case statement with don't cares, use a case result statement and use question mark characters instead of Z characters in the case items to indicate don't care bits, right? Here don't use Z, that's what he's saying, right? So that's another guideline, right? So let's see this. So okay, let's come back here. Let's see what is this thing. Note, it is generally recommended to code priority logic using the more explicit if-else statement to clearly convey this intention. This is a priority encoder. Remember, what is the priority encoder I told you? What is the priority encoder? You know what is encoder, right? You all know what is encoder. What is encoder?
Converts from one code to another.
Oh no, come on. What is that?
It's a way of protecting your information.
Yeah, but what did it teach in digital logic encoder? Encoder and decoder, we told you something, right? What is that? What you said is absolutely fine, Ishwar. What did it tell about encoder and decoder in one of the combination logic class? Mux, demux, encode, decode, and we saw two other things, demux and mux, encode, decode, and all, right? Yes, you should remember. I think you come prepared for my quiz. I'm saying you should not forget the basics, man. Now you forget in 1 month itself. What will you do end of 6 months, right? Right. So brush up. What is encoder? So priority encoder is there's certain priority. What is the first statement here? The first statement will be high priority compared to the others. Okay. So that's a priority encoder. It's like an arbiter. I know. You remember what is arbiter? I told you what is arbiter. What is arbiter?
Grant and
right, but what
grant and
in the quiz next Sunday, what is arbiter? Will you write
will be at an ideal state. Based on your request, you will give a grant.
Right, that's right.
Priority is given to grant.
How do you explain that in a single line? What you all say is all right. I agree, boss. In the quiz, you cannot write that way, right? What is the arbiter? I'll go to ask this question. Hey, let me give a hint. What is an arbiter? Okay, let's move forward. Anyway, I linked out a question. What is 1 question out of 10? You can come prepared with an answer, right? Okay, right. So these are the initial values. This, what is this operator? What is it called? I told you in one of the classes, last class I suppose. Flower brackets. What is it called?
Array.
No, not array. Sorry. Guys, you all nod your head in the class. The next class I will come and ask. You don't remember the answer. What is it? Yogesh, do you know?
Concatenate operator.
Excellent.
Sir.
Very good. Who said that?
Sir, Bhuvanesh, sir.
Bhuvanesh. Very good, Bhuvanesh. This is a concatenation operator, right? Flower bracket. What is concatenation? I told you, I gave you an example, right? You're packing one behind the other. So 3 bits. So if you do like this, int 2 is 0, int 1 is 0, and int 0 is 0, right? That's assignment. So, okay. So IRQ, case of IRQ. IRQ is a 3-bit. So 1 and don't care. Right? MSB bit is 1, other 2 is a don't care. Then you are saying int 2 is 1. And if the middle bit is 1, bit number 1 is 1, other 2 bits are don't care, you are saying int 1 is 1. And if the LSB bit is 1, other 2 bits are don't care, saying int 0 is 1. And default value, int 2, int 1 and int 0, it's all zeros, n case. And this is the logic you'll get, right? What is this? Int 2 is 1. Where IRQ? Okay, yeah, int 2 is 1. When IRQ 2 is 1, correct? You understand? Other bits are don't care. This has the highest priority. Agreed? IRQ 2 has the highest priority. Whenever IRQ 2 is 1, this consideration, int 2 is already 1 would be default, right? So that is what is the logic. Look at the int 1, how it is generated. IRQ 2 should be 0, right? And IRQ 1 should be 1, correct? Agreed? Where is int 1? See, that's what is going, right? You convert this, you get the logic. You put an OR gate and one of the int 1 is 0, you put the invert. You basically invert this and put a straight and remove this bubble, you'll get the logic. It's just Boolean algebra is optimized it. Is it De Morgan's law? Okay. So when int 2 is 0 and int 1 is 1, IRQ 2 is 0, IRQ 2 is 1, IRQ 0 is don't care. Then you get the int 1. Other condition, both should be 0, this should be 1. That's what you say, right? Both should be 0, here should be 1, you get the int 0. You guys follow this or no? How many of you follow this? Hello? Should I explain?
Follow, sir. Once again, sir.
Yogesh, you will follow?
Not really. I didn't
Okay,
get
very
it.
good. Very good. I'll explain. Yeah, please, you have to tell. That is, how do I know? Right? I'll use the pen. Right? So this is, it's a concept. That's how you understand. So 1, and this could be 1, 0, 0. What are the possible cases? It could be 1, 0, 0. Let me write here, right? First condition, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1. Right? It can be 1, 1, 0. It could be 1, 1, 1. All these 4 combinations are possible here, right? For the first case. right? And if you simplify this in the Karnaugh map or De Morgan's law, basically you get only IRQ2, right? That is in 2 is IRQ2. Other 2 bits are don't care, basically, right? Whatever may be the binary values of other 2 bits, so you get 4 combinations, right? 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 1, 1, right? So whatever may be the value of the other 2 bits, and when the int2 is always 1, your IRQ2 is always 1, your int2 is 1. That's what it says. Is that clear, Yogesh? Is it clear, Yogesh?
Wait, I didn't understand why int 1 and 0 always has to be like this.
That's the problem definition, right? It's example, that's all. Right? It's not mandatory. In this particular example, he's taking into 2 equal to IRQ2. That's the way his problem statement is, right?
Okay.
Right. So the message you're saying, so I can always write in 4 if I can write a 4 if then else statement, right? For this to happen. If IRQ2 is 1, and I think probably let me go to a text box. Be easy for me. Give me a minute. I think let me take a new presentation. Right here, right? Let me go to new slide. If IRQ2 equals 1 and right? IRQ1 and 0 equal, so sorry. And IRQ0 0, then IRQ, sorry, into, right? What was the variable name? Into equal to 1. Else, if IRQ2 equal 1 and IRQ1 equals 0 and 0 equal 1, then into equals 1, right? So like copy this. Let me remove this stupid thing. Where is my cursor? Remove this guy. I don't want this guy. Don't worry the capital and all. So look at only this. Where is my cursor? Shucks. Now you follow Yogesh.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So basically, it's just running all 4 conditions.
All 4
together.
combination. So instead of writing this, you are writing in a one simple KZ of IRQ, whatever, right? KZ of IRQ. And you're saying 3 tick B, you say 1 XX or 1 Z, 1 question mark. Then you're defining your into equal to 1. See? Agree?
Okay.
Now is it clear, everyone? It's very simple. Instead of writing 4 lines or 8 lines of code, I write in 2 lines of code. Okay? So it's like abbreviation kind of thing. You have to understand what it is. Is it clear, everyone, now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So same way. So the IRQ1, bit number 1 is set when other 2 bits are don't care. Then the int is 1. But here, if we say don't care, this cannot be 1. 1, 1 and don't care cannot come because this 1 is already defined here, right? So it will not enter here. So it can be only 0, 1 and question mark, right? You could actually written 0 here, but you're just putting a question mark.
Either way, it does not matter.
It does not matter actually, right? Yeah. Right? Because if this 1 has priority, that's what it says, right? So the bit number 2 is, you can experiment all these things. You go to the EDA playground, try put 1, 1 question mark, 0, 1 question mark, then you infer yourself, right? You have to play, then only you'll understand. Verilog, you can learn not by reading the textbook. You have to write, you have to experiment, change the values, change the things, experiment and see. Right? I'll end in few minutes, in 5 minutes, right? I think we spoke general stuff in the beginning, right? So you have to experiment. All this, you try different combinations, you change it, you make your own varieties. You don't have to send me. You make sure that you get the right answer. If you have questions, then you come and discuss with me, right? So you have to code EDA playground. Go there and keep trying. Then only you will learn. It's hard. If you don't practice now, 1 month is gone. The standard will slowly go up. I'll next in few weeks I'll starting what is a 5.4, then you'll find it very difficult. Okay. So you have to practice. These are very basic thing. I'm going very slow. The pace may go up a little bit fast. And by the way, guys, one of my other friend, I think I told you, right, last class is in US. So he's going to come and take classes to us in early September. So he'll take 2 classes, 2 1-hour classes. So that's going to be on one of the weekends, Saturday mornings, I suppose Saturday or Sunday mornings. It'll be at 8:30 a.m. India time. It'll be, it'll be 11 or whatever in the Hong Kong, right? 11:30, right? So it's going to be his evening at 8 p.m. right? And it's going to be our morning hours. I'll confirm the timing. I have an email, but I didn't write it down, right? So I'll communicate in next week. So be prepared to take one of the 2 classes in the morning hours, or it's on a weekend, Saturday, Sunday. Hope you'll not have classes on the college classes on Saturday, Sundays, right? You'll have it on Sunday. If you think you have some other engagement, let me know. I'll announce it at least 1 week to 2 week ahead, right? So that'll be a fast class. He'll go to cover a lot of things on 2 weeks. Right? He's a busy guy. You know, he's a R&D director, R&D in one of the big companies called Synopsys, right? And I don't know even by face. I've only spoke to him for a few minutes over the phone in a WhatsApp call. He's in Bay Area. You know, he's not even my friend. He's my friend's friend. And he came and said he'll come and do a class. Let's see, like how people love you guys, right? It's very unprecedented. I never imagined all these things will happen, right? So you have to make use of opportunities. You see so many CEOs and corporate HRs and so many guys are coming, leads are coming talking to you, right? So put that effort, additional effort. They are doing out of love and affection towards you, right? So see, they have so many things to do, but why they come and talk to us? They want you to be successful in the life. So they are interested in that, right? And they are not getting into me. I'm not getting any money, right? So we want you to get benefited. That's why we are doing this. So you make use of the effort, and if you have any difficulties, please communicate. We'll try and do our best to help you, right? Okay, hope this is clear. I'll go to next page. I'll probably case X, right? So there's a case X statement, which is a variation of case statement. Again, it's the same as before. It permits the Z and X question mark, but it also permits X now. X, they also don't care, right? X, Z, question mark are treated as a don't care. They are the same expression. Guideline: do not use case X for synthesizable code. Write down. Write in your notebooks. The class notes should have that. I want to see all of you put in your class notes, man, as a regular habit, right? A WhatsApp message, email after you enforce now onwards. Within 24 hours, I want to see you cannot read it. You put it there, and you have a buddy review. Let's do this way, right? I'll send an email. I'll assign a person. They will monitor. So Ishwar will have a monitor. So somebody will go and check whether Ishwar wrote the note, and Ishwar will go and check somebody he wrote the note or not, right? Or you guys, you guys adjust among yourself, right? 4 is your best friend. So you pick one person who will come and check your code, right? And somebody else will pick you to go and they'll come and check you did the notes or not, right? So why don't you do that way? So each one of you should not be the same person. Ishwar and Sriram cannot do review each your code. It's like buddy, right? I scratch your back, you scratch my back. No, that's not that way. So we'll work with 2 different persons. Let's say Ishwar checks Sriram, then some other person like Vishnu comes and check Ishwar, right? And try and see it's from different college as much as possible. Let's put that guideline also, not from the same college as much as possible. So Ishwar cannot work from somebody from Wales as much as possible, right? So there's a guideline. You guys form the team. You verify among yourself, and that guy is not doing. You send me a message after 24 hours. This guy didn't do it, or 48 hours. Let's give a time before the next class, right? We have 48 hours for next class, right? Before coming to next class. Today is Thursday 7 p.m. right? Before the Sunday class, Sunday 7 p.m. this should be done. Today's class note should be online. Okay. So you guys figure out who is a review, and I want to enforce all these things. It will not happen. So many important things are coming, and you will forget after 6 months if you don't write the important points somewhere, right? I told you how we took the technology transfer some going somewhere, right?
Yes, sir.
Those guys will run away, and then where do I go? I have to make a product. Right, so I have to document the information. I have to make sure that it's correct, right? So you people verify. If it is incorrect, you get to review, you get the points, and both of you don't understand, you come and ask me. I'll help you. So that's a good example for teamwork, right? Let's do that, right? So before Sunday 7 p.m. this should be done. Right?
Yes, sir.
You work in a friendly way. Don't you're not bossing around. You're not monitoring somebody. It's not a class monitor role, right? It's a friendly role. It's a buddy. Well, you call peer reviews. You go to company. I write a Verilog code, my colleague comes and reviews that. So we call it the buddy reviews or peer reviews, right? So after that, you'll have formal reviews where the manager comes and reviews. That will become a strange. Manager comes and say, you do this kind of instead of telling you come and do this, ask, hey, why the hell you do that? He'll use all the shitty language, bad mouthing and everything, right? I have been a tough manager at times. I'll tell you sometime. Just ask me a question, either offline or online. I'll give you some examples. I'm a friendly manager, also a tough manager. I'll tell you how we had a tough manager sometime, right? So it's extremely important to be friendly and also be bit tough at times when needed, right? So you have to write down all these guidelines, right? So when you have case X, each other has its place and use cases. Understanding different use cases between them is a key to using them correctly and avoiding bugs. It may also help you in a job interview. See, so I want you to make a table, case Z and case X, write down the definition and where to use them, use cases for them, where to use, where you don't use, right? So document that. Take 1 week for that exercise. It's a homework. You submit it by 20th of August. And one of you should write down and reply. As when I send the class notes, I didn't take the notes. So Ishwar, why don't you do that? Write it down. When I send the class email with the slides and this, you reply on that email and tell this is a homework which is due on 20th. Right? So compare, make a table for case Z and case X, compare them, right? And what are the differences between them? So that you have to use that correctly to avoid bugs. If you do that well, this is one of the job interview questions, right? See, I put a smiley there. So it will help you. If you do it systematically, what I tell you, and you remember, you write notes, suddenly you say next week, in 2 days, somebody is coming for an interview. You cannot go and read all 1 year material, right? It'll be easy if you have a class notes, you can just scan them and if you take your textbook, the key points will be given at the end, if you remember, right? So it's like that. It's a ready reference for you, right? So if you have that notes, you can review anytime, you can go to interview in no time. Right? You can share with your friends, right? It's not anybody's property, right? So you go and share with your friends, I'm fine. These videos, these slides, feel free to share in your LinkedIn profile, wherever it is, right? I'm fine. Ask your other classmates to come and sign up to the YouTube subscription, right? So when I upload, they always get a notification, right? They don't have to be on an emailing list. Maybe after some time, I'll stop the emailing list also. You subscribe, when you click it, I'm putting a link in the description box about the slide pointer you would have noticed. So you get the slides, you get the video. You subscribe, you will get a notification to YouTube or you get an email. So I think we should automate this kind of. You tell your friends, classmates to subscribe. I think most subscribers you have, they can also come and ask me questions offline. We'll try and work out something. Maybe once in a month, I'll have an open house kind of thing where people come and ask me questions. Right? So you can so check with your friends if they are interested. Yeah, let me see how much time I have and we will try and help them as much as possible. Right? So time I can always find. I can get my friends to help out, but people have to come and ask questions. People are there always to help you. I think Tanigay and Balaji also told you the classes, right? There are people available to help you. You have to reach out. That's the one thing, right? Okay, so with this we stop, guys. I'll let you go. Any questions, guys? Any questions? Any comments?
No, sir.
Okay, excellent. See you then, guys. Saturday it's 5 p.m. India time, and we have Balaji coming and talking on Power of Focus series number 3, right? And next week we'll have Tanigay again. I think we have one more guest lecture week after that. I think I'll push down Balaji for a week, and his name is Srinivas. I think he's going to talk on some interesting topics to you. So we'll have that on week after the next. I'll schedule that thing also on the calendar. Okay.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
guys. So that way, I don't know, it's morning or evening. I don't know. So when these guest lectures come, we have to be flexible for the time. I'll find out his time availability, and based on that, I'll set up in the calendar. Okay. I'll get it done by tomorrow. Okay. And guys, 2 of you told I'll work on your laptops. Please ping me in WhatsApp tomorrow. I wanted to follow with that company Redis, but I'm not finding time. Just one of you ping me in that tomorrow on the WhatsApp in the afternoon around 1 p.m. I'll make sure that I'll send an email and I'll get a latest update for you. Okay. Shankar, why don't you do that?
Okay. Okay, sure, sir. I will do that.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.